SportsWorld is in the shadow of Mount Baldy, just to the east of Los Angeles in Southern California. Hi, I'm Paul Page. You know, drag racing began here in Southern California, so it's appropriate that SportsWorld is here for the NHRA World Drag Race Finals. Now, when they first began drag racing, they used to flag the cars off the line with a flag, but now in this precise sport where the seconds are measured to 3 decimal points, it's the Christmas tree that the drivers use to start the race. Steve Evans is a former drag racer, now turned sportscaster, and Steve, this tree and the way they read it is going to make a big difference.
Oh, you bet it will, Paul. Performance is important, but without good driving, sharp reactions off the starting line, all the horsepower in the world won't buy you a drag race victory. As the drivers say, the quick ones can hole shot their way into the winner's circle here this weekend.
Steve, this pro stock battle is really something.
Oh, it is, and the fans are into it. It's between 4-time world champion Bob Glidden and Texan Lee Shepard with a Chevrolet. For the first time, Glidden does not have the title locked up. In fact, he is trailing Shepard in the points. What about driving, Bob? You've met Shepard a lot this year, and he's beat you on several occasions with slower elapsed times. Have you been working on your driving at all?
Well, it's not really a case of working on your driving. You do what's automatic when the fourth stage light goes on, and he's had a hex on me all year. I've done the wrong things all year long, so I don't know what the answer is.
In talking with Bob Glidden, he acts like he's already been defeated. He's really down.
Well, he's had a little trouble so far, but he usually gets things ironed out by race time.
A man that's had trouble with his funny car is Tim Gross, who is now making a last-minute effort to qualify. But earlier, he talked with Steve Evans about his accident at the Spring Nationals.
Tim Gross gets a very scary reminder each and every time he goes in and out of his trailer of a day not long ago in Columbus, Ohio, upside down and on fire. Tim, how much of that crash do you remember?
Well, I would say probably 95% of it. There was maybe a brief moment where I actually did close my eyes because I didn't want to see what was going to happen. But actually every bit of it, I remember every toss and turn on the guardrail and the fire, of course. And
do you toss and turn at night remembering this?
No, I've never really had a problem with that. In fact, the first moment I stepped back in the car, I didn't even give it a second thought. It was just something that was in the past. The car almost had a tendency to want to do what it was going to do at that point, and I'm glad it's over with. And this new car is, like I was saying, it's encouraging because it runs very straight, easy, and so
This is the way it was in the qualifying as Tim Gross in the far lane tried to make it into the qualifying field. But almost right away, too much power, the back end shook loose. Gross had to shut it down. It was not to be his day at Ontario Motor Speedway. The top fuel dragster will go down the quarter mile in less than 6 seconds, approaching 250 miles an hour. There are 4 names tied for the World Championship. It will be decided here today. Jeb Allen, Gary Beck, Marvin Graham, and Shirley Muldowney.
This is the tightest contest we've ever had for a Top Fuel World Championship in the history of drag racing, really. Gary Beck has led the point since early in the season. Gary, what is your battle plan to try to hang on to a narrow points lead and win this World Championship?
Well, Steve, certainly, as we all know, it's very tight. 4 cars right at the top, a bare 83-point lead. We're nervous. Our car has run good in the early part of the year. We're trying to get it back on that groove. We know we can beat the cars. We've battled with them about a 50% average all year. So it's time to pick it back up and get a little more going for us.
Well, Steve, if I look serious, it's because I am. I'm 26 years old, and to be fighting against people like Gary Beck and Shirley Muldowney and Marvin Graham, that's all 12, 15 years older than me, it's something that I always used to dream of when I was about 8 or 9 years old. And to be here today, I'm very grateful, and I'm just going to try my hardest.
Of the 3 drivers still contesting the title, who do you consider to be the toughest?
I think Jeb Allen. Jeb tends to step up not once in a while, a lot of times, but when, you know, the going gets rough, Jeb always seems to be there. And plus, I like him a whole lot.
Now, just mathematically, what has to happen for you to win this overall title?
I think that we haven't really figured it out on paper, but I think that we have to win the race, and at least Gary and Shirley or Gary and Jeb have to go out pretty early.
Here is a close-up look at Marvin Graham's car. Steve, the top fuel dragster is an incredible machine.
It sure is, and it's drag racing's only unlimited class. A 2,000 horsepower supercharged nitro-methane burning engine just behind the driver's head. They're about 1,400 pounds, 22 feet long. The control is very simple. A throttle pedal, a clutch pedal, a handbrake, and a butterfly steering wheel and oil pressure gauge. That's all they need in top fuel. But they did about $200,000 to campaign one of these cars competitively.
They are designed not only for speed, but for safety. Watch the car in the near side lane.
Dave Uehara, Santa Clara, California, smacks the wall, one of the worst top fuel crashes I have ever seen. You see the rear end of the car bouncing down the drag strip. It literally explodes, but that's okay. What's important is that the roll cage section where Uehara is strapped in is intact, and he is going to be A-OK, Paul.
The safety crew is already on top of the car, and Steve, when the parts fly off of the car, that keeps energy from being transferred to the driver.
That's right. You might as well just get rid of any excess metal. You don't need it, and especially you don't need those big balloon tires because they can cause the car to bounce violently down the racetrack. Here it hits the wall, the rear end breaks away, and then the car just slides down the concrete wall with a very shaken Dave Uehara saying, "What happened?"
A flash of fire, but he is protected by his fire suit. The crews are there. He is all right. Now here is Jeb Allen. Shirley Muldowney says she is her toughest competitor. He is on the line. He has to run better than a 6:04. Allen leaves the line clean.
The other car smoking the tires, he will not qualify.
Allen across the line, 6.056. It's not fast enough. And already Jeb Allen is out of the show.
We know the speed indicates, Paul, that he had the horsepower at the far end of the racetrack. But the launch is everything in drag racing. The car did not leave the starting line hard enough.
Well, you know, we tried. You know, I don't know what to say. I feel like crying, I guess. A long, hard year, and it's over, I guess, right now, and that's life.
A disappointed Jeb Allen already out of the event, but still, it's a three-way battle for the World Championship. We're in round number 1 of Top Fuel. In the near side, Shirley Muldowney, the far side, Marvin Graham. Steve asked them about their strategies.
Well, I think our car's got more power. I know our car's got more power than any other car around here, and obviously more power than her car. So we hope to get it stuck to the ground and be ahead at the end of the racetrack. That's the main point.
I don't think Marvin really is as good a lever. And, you know, the car runs awfully good, so a good car can make a marginal driver look awfully good. I think I have him there.
So Shirley Muldowney, here in the first round of Top Fuel, has a chance to eliminate one of her competitors for the world title.
Marvin Graham says he'll out-muscle Shirley. Shirley says, no, he won't. I'll out-drive him.
Both cars on the line now. Shirley in the near lane, Marvin Graham in the far lane. Both cars away cleanly, some smoke off of Graham's tires. Now Shirley coming on strong, pulls Graham to the line, and Shirley Muldowney has beat Marvin Graham in round number 1.
And only by 2/100ths of a second. 6.07 for Shirley, 2:37. 6.09, 2:34 for Marvin Graham. And here in the replay, Paul, I think we can see where that 2/100ths of a second evaporated. You see the tire smoke? That's where the time went. He had too much horsepower.
So Marvin Graham is out, and Shirley Muldowney will now move up to the quarterfinal round. And that brings up Connie Kalita, who is Shirley Muldowney's former chief mechanic, and he will face the '78 world champion Kelly Brown.
Brown, with his tire heating burnout, he's really only in this race as a spoiler in the number 2 Gary Beck car. Look at the tires grow a full foot as he not only heats them up, but lays down some hot, sticky rubber on the pavement to improve traction.
And Kelly Brown is on the line and ready. The '78 world champion in the near lane facing Connie Kalita. They are both staged and ready. The green light, and they're off. Kalita smokes his tires coming off the line. Brown charging hard, but it's Kalita across the line. A fire on Brown's car. The supercharger blows off the top of Brown's machine.
And that was it we saw bouncing down the racetrack. This is 200 pounds of supercharger and fuel injection. Blows right off the top of the motor. The flames trying to burn the parachute off of Brown's car, but don't quite succeed.
Well, there is Kelly Brown, dejected, looking at the damage on the top of the engine on his Top Fuel dragster. On the line now, Gary Beck. He will face Dennis Baca.
Baca's a past winner here at Ontario, a tough customer from Northern California.
Gary Beck, on the other hand, is still in this World Championship. He has to keep pace with Shirley Muldowney. He has more runs in the 5-second bracket than any other Top Fuel driver. So Beck and Baca, both of their machines on the line. The crew is looking at Baca's machine, though. They're pushing it back. There's something wrong with Baca's machine. So Gary Beck leaves. He'll make a slow pass.
This could come back to haunt Gary Beck. The car not performing properly, so he shuts it off early. A slow elapsed time means he'll not have lane choice the next round.
So Dennis Baca pushed to the side. Gary Beck will win here in this round. And he and Shirley Muldowney will now fight it out. We're now ready for the first round of funny car eliminations. Dale Armstrong will face Ron Colson.
Californian Armstrong will be the first here to complete his tire heating burnout. They'll back up to the starting line to get ready to race.
There's an official running out on the track. Is something wrong?
Oh, this looks like a bad break for Armstrong. The official may be shutting that car off, but what a piece of good luck for Ron Colson if indeed that's the case.
Ron Colson, unaware of any possible problem on Armstrong's car, brings his machine back to the line and prepares to stage it. But they're still looking at Armstrong's car. There's the top about to go up. Ron Colson makes his first burnout, pulls up to the line. He's off and away. It'll be a win for Colson and a lot of bad luck for Dale Armstrong.
Oh, you bet. A lot of fans with that California-based car. Apparently an oil leak, Paul. In fact, you can see where oil is even sprayed up on the body and the windshield. And it's all over the racetrack as well. A big problem for this man, John Collins, who is next up in this right-hand lane.
The right lane has been a problem all afternoon, and now with this additional oil on it, it's going to make it that much more of a problem. John Collins now preparing himself, putting on the fire protective gear in anticipation of a run down his strip. Steve Evans, let's look at the funny car.
This is a funny car, Paul, an inappropriate name really for 1,700 pounds of plainly serious race machine. A 2,000 horsepower supercharged nitro-burning engine in front of the driver, making onboard fire extinguishers a must, all topped up with a fiberglass body.
Two on the line and ready to go in the near lane. John Collins from Long Beach, California. Tom Hoover from Minnesota over on the far side. Final preparations and checks being made. You can see the thick black marks created by the tires when they did their burnouts a bit earlier.
That's right, the burnouts are absolutely critical for these cars, and especially in the case of Collins, as he was able to help clean up the track himself with very aggressive burnouts.
Let's see if that right lane holds. They're coming up the stage. The light gives them green, and they're off. Tom Hoover pulls away very rapidly. Hoover goes on to win. The right lane proved to be bad luck for John Collins.
Hoover from Minneapolis posts a really fine 6.17 second win at over 221 miles per hour.
And that completes round number one of Funny Car Elimination. Welcome back. I'm Paul Page with Steve Evans, and we've joined over 50,000 race fans at Ontario Motor Speedway in Southern California to see the Pro Stockers run. A Pro Stock machine is very sophisticated. Here's Brad Ewells.
This is typical, really, of the factory hot rods. They must retain the stock dimension of the original street machine. They're limited to carburetors and pump gasoline. Roll cages are mandatory inside these cars. The drivers are very, very busy in these cockpits with a maze of levers controlling a clutchless 4-speed transmission.
And Brad Ewell now has his car up on the line as he is ready to face the Pro Stock World Champion Bob Glidden. Glidden defending his title here at Ontario Motor Speedway.
Even if Indiana's Bob Glidden should lose that number one to Lee Shepard, he still wants the event first. He'll have to beat Brad Ewell here to get started.
Ewell and Glidden come evenly off the line. Now Glidden begins to build up speed and power. And it's Glidden going away as he beats Brad Ewell in round number one of the Pro Stock Eliminations. Now for the World Championship, the man that Glidden wants to beat is this fellow, Lee Shepard. Shepard is in the quarterfinal round as he faces Andy Manarino in the near lane.
Shepard won't be taking Manarino lightly here. The Michigan driver, one of the top qualifiers in the M&M boys car, as they inch forward to stage.
Both cars on the line now, ready for a run. And Shepard stumbles forward and then stops completely, stumbles again. Manarino will go on to win this round, and that changes the whole complexion of things because Shepard was Bob Glidden's only challenge to this point for the World Championship.
And with absolutely no mechanical problems all year long, whoever would have believed Shepard would break here in the most important race of the year?
Here the quarterfinal round. Muldowney brings her machine to the line to face Connie Kalita, her former chief mechanic. Steve Evans talked with both of them.
I notice you're putting some weight on your car.
Yeah, the racetrack conditions out there are terrible, and I smoked the tires real hard in the first round, and in doing so, I lost lane choice to her, so that's definitely going to give her an advantage in the lanes out there. The right lane is definitely slicker than the left.
And the last thing you want to see is that pink car in front of you.
Oh, that's terrible. I've seen it there a couple times, and it really hurts.
Shirley, you said you're a good lever, and you've proven that, certainly. How have you polished that talent? How have you honed that talent?
Pay attention, not be looking around, watching the other car. And it's reaction, and I think women do have really good reflexes, and it's just something that you get used to.